Now, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So excuse me for the little delay. We are 5 minutes behind schedule. So I would appreciate if you could please tell the devotees in the different groups and all that the session has started. So it is a different timing. We are in Australia at the time that I'm giving this class. Which means we are 2 hours ahead of the normal schedule. So every classes that we had in the past concerning this addressing Krishna conscious taboos, it was always at 8 p.m. Singapore time, so which would mean 5:30 p.m. Indian time. So now we are 2 hours earlier, because here we are 2 hours later, which means that when it's at the moment it's 6 p.m. in Singapore, it's 8 p.m. here in Australia. So thank you very much for joining, and thank you for those of you who will be watching a replay of this, which will be uploaded. So if you have any questions or comments during the session, please feel free to write it down in the comment section. However, I will not be looking while I'm giving the class. I will be looking towards the end, and we'll try to answer all the comments and questions later on. Yes, so this is an important topic. Following authority. This is pretty much what we are averse to do. Every one of us in the material world, we're all very much puffed up, thinking that we know everything, and we don't want to be subjugating ourselves to any authority, or we might artificially, seemingly accept an authority that conforms with our understanding, and that we can bring under our control. So that is not real surrender. So it's a very important aspect, and especially in the context of today, especially in the context of the world that we live in, and also in our spiritual organization. So for those of you who do not know, I personally follow the Ritvik system of initiation. Now, if you heard the word Ritvik and you feel frightened or something, please do not be. We should be open-minded in the Vaiṣṇava community, and we should understand that there's different understanding of the philosophy, and we should study the subject matter very thoroughly. So in the Ritvik system of initiation, Srila Prabhupada is the Diksha Guru, and we follow a Shiksha Guru who represents Srila Prabhupada. So this was the system that was in place before Prabhupada departed, and this is the system that many devotees follow now. But one of the thing is that devotees will claim to be following this system for the sake of evading being under any authority, because this principle of surrendering to a spiritual master to render personal service, physical service to a spiritual master has always been there in the Vedic system. I mean, in this Krishna consciousness movement. Thank you. So it's an important principle, and we should not get rid of it. So there are devotees who claim to be Ritvik, but they simply do not want to be answering to any physical authority, and that's a big blunder that they're doing, because no one can approach Krishna without approaching his devotees. We need to learn humility. And how are we going to be learning humility if we're not faced with situations where we have to take guidance from physical authority, and situations where we might have a certain opinion which is not fully in line with what Prabhupada is saying, and then we're being rectified by an authority? How is Krishna going to be testing us? So the Lord puts us into different types of association in order to test us. He wants to see how is this devotee going to be reacting in this context. Is he sincere? Is he going to be swallowing the bitter pill of humility? Or is he going to be going along with his own mental concoction? So this is why Prabhupada set up a system of temple presidents and GBC. Even when Prabhupada was physically here, how many devotees could have physical association with him? And if they did, how long was it? It could have been just a flower exchanged. It could have been simply like one darshan. So most of the physical guidance were through some senior devotees or shiksha gurus that were instructing, okay, like you do like this, you don't do like that, in this way. Prabhupada was giving the knowledge to everyone through his books, his letters, his recorded lectures, and so on. But the day-to-day guidance was not done by Prabhupada mainly, or maybe just a few selected devotees for some period of time. But most of the time it was the temple president, especially. Temple president is the one who trains the devotees. He's the one who's there pushing in a specific zone, a specific city, and he trains up those devotees, right? So the temple president is naturally a shiksha guru, or at least he has to be, right? He has to develop those qualities. So we might be joining a temple and not understanding how important it is to follow the authority in the temple. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So, okay, we've been started for about 6 minutes. I'm just giving the time for people to join. Different schedule, different timing and all. Okay, so we will begin with the Mangala Charana Prayer in order to invoke auspiciousness so that we can all benefit from this class. Just before I recite, you might hear in my voice, I'm having a bit, not very cold, but some allergy and blocked nose. So please bear with me. This is a hot drink. Try to help me breathe better. Okay. Let me share the screen. All right, we begin. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Taismai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sahagana Lalita Shivashakam Vitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhisya Kripasindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadishatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome, one and all. I'm very happy to begin these classes again. I've been wanting to do that for a while now. For those of you who don't know, we've been traveling. My family and I, we went to Singapore for 1 month, and then Philippines for 3 months. And now we're here in Australia. So we're trying to offer our humble services to the different yatra that we go to and try to somehow or other benefit the preaching scene in the different places that we go. Of course, Singapore, I mean, it's pretty much established. A lot of devotees there. So, okay, so thank you for joining. Following authority, the importance of following authority. In the text, when I shared this class, I shared a little write-up saying that the cause of our leaving, the cause of being in this material world is that we became rebellious to Krishna. So the Supreme Lord created everything for the sake of enjoyment. That is easy to understand. Every single living entity is seeking enjoyment. So birds, beasts, animals, fish, we can all see them. We can see human beings especially. We seek pleasure. Okay, so that is the goal of life. That is the goal of creation. That is the aim of why God exists, why He created us, and so on. So that is what the Lord wants. He wants to enjoy with us. But the Lord alone is the actual enjoyer. He is qualified to enjoy, and He's the Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. He's the maintainer. He's the singular eternal, and we are the plural eternal. So we are meant to be indirect enjoyer. Indirect enjoyer means we are dependent upon Him for our happiness, our pleasure, whereas He's not dependent on us. That's a misconception to think that if God doesn't have us, God will not be able to enjoy. That's not a proper way to put it. He's fully independent. So, and our averse to this truth, which is eternal, is the cause of our fall down. In the material world, we try to be Him. We try to become the primary enjoyer. And I don't think it's very hard to believe, because we can see modern day society, everybody is trying to convince the other, the other person that they are better than them. All these social medias and people just posting pictures of themselves. Look at me, look at me, look at me, me. I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, I'm more intelligent. Look at everybody's trying to make some very clever posts, trying to be praised, to be liked. So everyone is trying to be the center of attention, and everyone is seeing matter, sense objects meant for them. Oh, beautiful mountain, I shall hike on this mountain and I shall enjoy. Oh, this mountain is created for you to enjoy, right? Oh, beautiful river, I will take a nice dip in it. Everyone is focused on one's own sense gratification. No one is thinking that who has created these things? Does that river belong to me in the first place? No one is even thinking that, can I at least say thank you to the Creator, to the Lord, God? Very, very few are interested in actually understanding this truth, that everything that's surrounding us has been created by someone, and for what purpose, At the time that we're traveling, we're having this girl who is with us, Leela. She's the granddaughter of Labanga Mataji. Labanga Mataji is the temple president in China, where we live. So somehow or other, her parents allowed her to travel with us. So that's nice for her. But her parents are not devotees, they're karmis. And unfortunately, when she's at home there, she has to eat meat and so on. So okay, sorry. Back. Okay, can you let me know how long was I cut off, and if you can see me now? I think I was cut off for some reason. Is it okay now? Just say yes in the comment section. I think it should be. There's no Wi-Fi here, so I have to get this wired connection, and I have a kind of dongle for that, so it looks a bit sketchy sometimes. Okay, everyone's saying okay now. Okay, iScan TV. Who is joining from iScan TV? Okay, all right. So I'm not seeing myself. Okay, I think I was just cut off again. I'm very sorry. Everything seems correct here. I don't rely on any Wi-Fi. I'm just connecting this. So I'm very sorry if this happens in the session. I hope it's not going to happen again. Okay, so again, this girl, she's brought up by her karmi parents. And I can see that she always is calculating about her own enjoyment. How she's thinking, you know, oh, let's go out, let's go buy some things, and oh, I want to go buy this, and you know, we went to do some groceries earlier, and she bought some avocado, and immediately, oh, I'm gonna go back home and eat avocados. And so this is the mentality of a conditioned soul. That is, okay, of course, not saying that I'm not conditioned, but us conditioned souls, we have got this mentality that everything is meant for me. You know, I want to enjoy, this isn't for me. Oh, this fruit has grown up from this tree, from the seed, meant for my tongue, so that I can taste it and enjoy it. So that is a very perverted consciousness, because this is not the original this is not the original purpose for what we were created. We are actually love for Krishna, submissiveness to him, and pure love is eternal. It's something that's always established within the heart of the living entity, and this is explained here in Madhya Lila, chapter 22, text 107. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Uddaya. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. So, pure love of God is not something that we have to develop. It's not that we work our way up. It's always been there. It simply has to be uncovered again. So it's eternally established. Not that we have never loved Krishna in the past, because eternal means past and future, you know, eternally. So it's already there in the heart. It doesn't have to be gained from somewhere else. It has to be reawakened. So that is, and when we make progress in devotional life, we will not like to enjoy anything that has not been enjoyed first for Krishna. That's the whole meaning of prasadam. To offer first to the Lord something that we get, that we buy, or that we beg. So we first offer it to the Lord, and then we accept the remnants as prasad. But to see everything meant for my enjoyment, you know, this is for me to enjoy, that is for me. You know, the beautiful sun is shining simply so that my skin can feel nice at the beach. So the mentality of the conditioned soul is to be a competitor to Krishna. We compete with him. That Krishna is not the primary enjoyer. I am. So there is also this very beautiful verse in the CC. Yes. Is it 21? Okay. Maybe we can go see this one. It's a nice one too. Okay, just give me a second. So Madhya Lila, chapter 20, text 117. So Krishna bhule se jiva anadi bahirmukha, ataiva maya tare deya samsara dukkha. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy, Maya, gives him all kinds of misery in his material existence. So, we, forgetting that we are subservient to Krishna, forgetting that we're servants of the Lord, we have to somehow serve, and therefore we come into the clutches of the service of Maya. We are tools in the hands of Maya. We serve Maya for her plan, which is to keep the conditioned souls in this material world. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives him all kinds of trouble. So, Prabhupada explained in the purport, when the living entity forgets his constitutional position as an eternal, he is immediately entrapped by the illusory external energy. Now the question would be, why does this occur? So this is very bewildering. Many different Vaishnava philosophers are arguing on this point. But Prabhupada put it very simply, is that we have free will. So if we desire to forget Kṛṣṇa, if we want to become Kṛṣṇa, then Kṛṣṇa will make us forget. Because we cannot forget without his blessing. Kṛṣṇa will make us forget. But of course, that is not that he wants to do that, but we force him. So Prabhupada says, yes, we have forced Kṛṣṇa to come in the material world. And he said that it's a natural thing, that the servant will think, why shall I remain servant? Why can I not become the master? So that kind of mentality is always available. Energy, because by nature he is spiritual, but by forgetfulness he is situated in the material energy. Thus he has the power to live either in the material energy or in the spiritual energy. And for this reason he is called marginal energy. He is sometimes attracted by the external illusion he is eternal, and he existed before the creation of this material world. Unfortunately, he has forgotten his relationship with Kṛṣṇa. So in Prabhupada books, it is very clear that we had a relationship with Kṛṣṇa. You see this? Unfortunately, he has forgotten his relationship with Kṛṣṇa. So there's a class of Vaiṣṇava philosophers, devotees, that say that we were never with Kṛṣṇa. We were eternally in the marginal, position, so always into the Brahman position, and we fell from Brahman. But we were never with Kṛṣṇa before. But that is not at all supported from Srila Prabhupada. In fact, one devotee that I know was arguing that Prabhupada said that, yeah, we were with Kṛṣṇa because he had to preach to some hippies, to some Westerners who were easily agitated. And if you would have told him that, yes, you were never with Kṛṣṇa, they would have not had the impetus to actually want to go back to him. And everywhere that he wrote, so many places it is said that we have forgotten our relationship with Kṛṣṇa. So I think we should stay on this side with Srila Prabhupada, even though sometimes if we read other books from other acharyas, we might come to some different conclusions. But Prabhupada said, you should understand through me, not through, you don't jump over Prabhupada and try to understand some siddhanta, some spiritual conclusion by studying other acharyas' literature. That is not the way. So, okay, continuing on this topic. The living entity's forgetfulness is described herein as anadi, which indicates that it has existed since time immemorial. One should understand that due to his desire to enjoy himself in competition with Kṛṣṇa, the living entity comes into material existence. Yes. And I don't know if it's the next verse. There's another verse that is very nice also. I don't know if it's That's a nice verse too. It's actually a verse in the CC which is actually found in the... Actually, it's a Bhagavatam verse that is in the CC. It shouldn't take me... Okay, there it is. Yes, it was just... Okay. All right. Here we are. So, Madhya Lila, chapter 20, text 119. Bhayam vitiya bhiniveshattah syat ishat apattasya viparyayo smritihi tanmayayato buddha abhajattam bhaktyaya kayesham gurudevatatma. It's cut out?
I don't know why it's doing that.
Here it says it. Here it seems all right. So now here I'm seeing that it's fine, but Chaitanya Lila Prabhu's following on his phone says that it cut out.
No idea why it's doing that.
The connection seems all right here.
Because it's fixed wires as well, and it has problem with that. Cuts out.
I don't know if here nobody's saying that it's cutting.
Okay.
I don't know if it's maybe you.
It might be me,
Yeah. Am I working? Here it says working. Okay.
That must be me.
Yeah, I think it's your phone. Okay, so let's get back to the verse. This is Bhagavatam 11:237. Okay, when the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Kṛṣṇa, he is overpowered by fear, because he is separated from the beginning, this is the very first domino that fell. That's the first mistake we've made. So we wanted to compete with Kṛṣṇa. And what does that mean to be Kṛṣṇa's competitor? Well, Bhagavan means the possessor of all opulence, of which 6 are prominent. So wealth, beauty, knowledge, renunciation, strength, and what is it? What did I say? What did I miss? So wealth, knowledge, renunciation, beauty, strength, and... Okay, I'm having a blank here. Anyway, so Bhagavan means he's possessor of these 6 opulences. So we all in the material world, we're trying to compete with him in these things. And if you see, all these scientists, philosophers and all, they're all trying to establish themselves as being more knowledgeable than the others. They're trying to come with some new theories and things. They're trying to be the best of the best, And opulence, everyone is trying, like those big rich people, billionaires and all, they all Hare Krishna, very sorry. Again, this occurred. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I don't know how we're gonna be going on with this situation here. So, please excuse me. We'll see. We'll try our best. If this keeps happening, okay, every time it cuts, please write it in the comment. I think it cut a little bit just now again. I think maybe it's this connection here. I don't know for how long I can go on like this. Anyway, so yes, so therefore, in order to rectify this mistake, this is the point of today's. Yeah, this was a very long cut. Very sorry. I'm very sorry about this. So we're trying to switch to a kind of Wi-Fi here and give up that thing. So if we Nima 108 would be the password for this. So I'll try with the Wi-Fi if that works. I've put already in 720. Okay, I'm connected. Yeah, so I'm connected to this Wi-Fi. So I've got both the LAN and the Wi-Fi now connected. So let's try with this. Very sorry, please excuse me. We are in a countryside here, so in the mountains and all. So okay. So yes, in order to rectify this mistake that we're trying to do, to think ourselves the enjoyer, to think that everything is meant for our own purpose, our own sense gratification and all, to redo the complete reprogramming, the Lord is helping us to slowly surrender back to Him through His representatives, authorities, you know. So as we are young, we're born, who is our authority? The parents. So Vedic culture teaches us that we have to be very respectful to the parents, and this is why there's so many injunctions in the Shastra to worship the parents, right? Like the father is higher than heaven, the father is and the okay, again cut. No problem. So no need to feel bad. I mean, what can be done? So okay, I don't know if we'll be able to continue. Yeah, no, I'm on the Wi-Fi and on the connection here. So
My Wi-Fi is going out.
hmm,
There's nothing to do with me, it's to do with the
right.
company.
Mm-hmm. It's okay, no problem.
It's my hotspot for a moment if you want to just to finish off.
Well, if it
Well,
keeps
half an hour,
happening, if it keeps happening,
My
we'll-
phone will be fine.
oh,
Enough about it.
no, but that I'll be sucking all your data.
It's okay if I got enough.
You sure about this?
Yeah, you can do at least half an hour or so. At least. Password's in my own right, I think you already have. Same one. No, I still can't get in. Just leave that.
So we're trying to get Prabhu's Wi-Fi from his phone. I don't know if that'll be better, because also the connection is a bit... It's okay, no problem, never mind. Maybe another wire like this, the other connection in the room there, but then I'll have to shift the whole thing, you know, it'll be hard to do that this time.
It's okay, that's a good connection.
So anyway, now it seems to be stable, it seems to work.
Is that mine Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's, no, this is the downstairs Kṛṣṇa net for now. So for those of you who do not know, Chaitanya Leela Prabhu, he's the leader here in Ice Game Australia. Okay. Okay, alright, so they're saying with this Wi-Fi is stable, only one small cut. Alright, we'll continue. So we'll try to fast forward things. Been losing a lot of time. So Vedic literature is like a staircase. Each step we're getting closer to the absolute truth, but we do need to give up an inferior principle. So the principle of being a good son and good daughter is very important for the welfare of the whole world. You know, society cannot work with disobedient children. But then that principle can be given up when one starts to advance more in spiritual life. For example, if one wants to surrender to Kṛṣṇa, then the principle of being very obedient to the father can be given up. And we've seen, just like Prahlad Maharaj, right? He did not agree with his father. He wanted to surrender to the Lord. So in this way, so the Lord is teaching us to always be obedient to some authority. children to the parents, the wife to the husband, the man, the family man to the guru. Always there's someone above us, the senior, the senior of the household. We have to be respectful to them. So why has Kṛṣṇa made these arrangements? He's made these arrangements so that our independent mentality be curbed. So this is why it's important in our Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement to be working under some authority and not try to do things independently. Because if we do things independently, we are not going to please Kṛṣṇa. We're simply not going to, because no one has approached the Lord alone without approaching him through a devotee. So we need to learn these things. So I'd like to speak of a few verses concerning this. This is 5.120. It's a Brahma speaking to Priyavrata. So here it is. So Sri Sukadev Goswami continued, after thus being fully instructed by Lord Brahma, who is the spiritual master of the three worlds, Priyavrata, his own position being inferior, offered obeisances, accepted the order, and carried it out with great respect. So this is Priyavrata, one of the great kings, very, very powerful. So Brahma came and instructed him to take household life. Actually, Priyavrata had no intention in doing this. He was a self-realized soul already. But Brahma being a superior, Priyavrata, his own position being inferior, offered obeisances, accepted the order, and carried it out with great respect. Now, this story of Priyavrata, or how in the next few verses, is very interesting. Because you see, Narada Muni was actually preaching to Priyavrata and telling him to not accept household life. Okay, so let's read the commentary. The purport here. Sri Priyavrata was the grandson of Lord Brahma. Therefore, according to social etiquette, his position was inferior. It is the duty of the inferior to carry out the order of the superior with great respect. You see, this is a core principle in Vedic culture, is that there's superior and there's inferior. And these positions are accepted. They're not tabooed out, like not discussed. No, it is very much accepted, and both the superior and the inferior both feel, very free in that relationship. There's no envy going on here. So Priyavrata therefore immediately said, "Yes, sir, I shall carry out your order." Priyavrata is described as a Mahabhagavata, a great devotee. The duty of a great devotee is to carry out the order of the spiritual master, or the spiritual master of the spiritual master in the Parampara system. As described in Bhagavad Gita 4.2, Evam Parampara Praptam. One has to receive the instructions and the Supreme Lord through the disciplic chain of spiritual masters. A devotee of the Lord always considers himself a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Now, how are we going to be a servant of the servant of the servant if we try to work independently? Saying, no, I'm just reading Prabhupada books, I don't need any association of devotees and all. That is a very dangerous line to walk, you see. Because who thinks that he's above guidance, need of God? To think that I don't need guidance, I don't need physical guidance, is very dangerous mentality. You know, it comes from a puffed up, it comes from pride, basically. Yes, so, okay, sorry, I closed that. I didn't want to close this. I wanted to go to the next verse, because what's interesting here is that there was some instructions coming from two spiritual masters. Narada Muni was saying one thing and Brahma was saying another thing. So this might occur in our daily devotion. Behave, how to react to this. So let's go to the next verse. Okay, here. Lord Brahma was then worshipped by Manu, who respectfully satisfied him as well as he could. So Manu is the father of Priyavrata as well as Uttanapad. I believe the brother of Uttanapad, who is the father of Dhruva. If I'm not wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Priyavrata and Narada also looked upon Brahma with no tinges of resentment. Having engaged Priyavrata in accepting his father's request, Lord Brahma returned to his abode, Satyaloka, which is indescribable by the endeavor of mundane mind of words. So here the important point is that here you see, Manu was certainly very satisfied that Lord Brahma had persuaded his son Priyavrata to take the responsibility for ruling the world. Priyavrata and Narada were also very satisfied, although Brahma had forced Priyavrata to accept the management of worldly affairs, thus breaking his vow to remain brahmachari and completely engage in devotional service. Narada and Priyavrata did not look upon Brahma with resentment. Narada was not at all sorry that he had been frustrated in making Priyavrata a disciple. You see, Narada wanted to convince Priyavrata to completely give up all this family life and so on and surrender to him. But here, both Priyavrata and Narada were exalted personalities who knew how to respect Lord Brahma. Therefore, instead of looking upon Brahma with resentment, they very feelingly offered him their respect. Lord Brahma then returned to his celestial abode known as Satyaloka. So, you see, there was no envy, like, okay, I'm instructing this person in such a way, and then a superior comes and instruct in a different manner. I might feel ashamed or offended, right, like this. But no, he did not feel like that. He accepted. So sometimes it might occur like this, that I'm taking guidance from a specific devotee who's telling me like this, and then maybe a more senior devotee will come and say, actually, you should do like that. So myself, who's being instructed in a different manner, and the person who was instructing differently should not feel bad about that. You see, the senior devotee has come and he's given his thing, and we should feel happy that, okay, he has come and giving his guidance, his kind guidance, his blessing, basically, as to how we should proceed now. So such occurrences are there. And this is a very good example on how we should be reacting. Okay, so obedience. There's no question of being a disciple without discipline. We have to obey. And this obedience will be very much a great impetus for advancement in Krishna consciousness, because in the beginning we belong to the 4 types of neophytes, right? Those who desire wealth, those who desire to be freed from suffering, those who just want knowledge, and those who are seeking the absolute truth. Of course, the last one, who's seeking the absolute truth, he's more, there's more probability that he will be able to become a pure devotee, because from the very beginning he's already situated in a more pure attitude. But anyway, so these 4 types of neophytes, what is their impetus to perform devotional service? Since they have not attained a spontaneity like that I want to do by myself, I want to do more and more and more, then the order of superiors is an impetus that will give them a boost. Oh, my Shiksha Guru is telling me to do this service, all right, let me do it. And then he feels enthusiasm. And therefore this verse is there, and that the order of the spiritual master is the active principle in spiritual life, Adi Lila 12:10. So, this is what is giving us this impetus. Oh, Prabhupada wants us to do like this. That's good, but we might not feel so much enthusiasm to want to do it, even though Prabhupada's Vani is the same as Prabhupada's physically. Where is our realization of that? So therefore, when other devotees down the line who are surrendered to Prabhupada and who are great examples in our lives, they ask us to do something, we'll feel enthusiastic. Yes, let me please that devotee. I want to show him that I'm capable of doing that. And that becomes a great source of enthusiasm for us. So that is how it works. The parampara system continues. Okay, we can go to another important verse, which has been often quoted by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. Here it is. So, etavyateva shushrusha karya pitari putrikaihi badham ityanu manyata gauravena gurur vachaha. Gauravena gurur vachaha. Sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, "Yes, sir." I know the word reverence, but deference, humble submission and respect. He addressed her with the deference due to age. Yeah. So to show respect to seniors is very good, and that is a good. This is why when we address senior person, in the English language, there's not much distinction when we address with a pronoun someone younger and someone senior. We say you, right? Like a 5-year-old boy, how are you? And a senior, how are you? You can add maybe sir or ma'am to make it more respectful, but the pronoun itself does not change. In French, I grew up speaking French, we use the plural of you. Like in English, like you, one person, and you, many person. You are all my friends. So we use the plural, even though it's one person, because that person is elderly, we use the plural. So in French is tu means you singular, and vous means you plural. So we will use that to address the senior person or someone who is in a higher position, which is very nice. So such addresses are very good to keep society in proper order, because when authorities are being pleased with a submissive mood, what happens? Then their natural flow of love and blessings to people who are their subordinate will flow unobstructed. That is the thing. Whereas when there's a challenging spirit, or when there's offensive dealings coming from the inferior, then that flow will not come naturally. And not only that, the whole transfer of transcendental knowledge is helped by Kṛṣṇa. We need to remember that Kṛṣṇa is within the heart. So this transfer is helped by Kṛṣṇa who's within. So let's say there's this Shiksha Guru, or this senior devotee that is there, and I'm approaching him with a bad attitude. Then Kṛṣṇa is in the heart. He's not going to be happy, first of all, in your heart. So he's not going to help you understand what you're trying to get. And he will not allow that devotee to speak nicely as to your inquiry. Therefore, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So this sevaya is important. Not that just inquire, but there has to be a service attitude, a submissive mood. And then with this submissive mood, then the flow of transcendental knowledge will take place very liberally, without any obstructions. And that is spoken of, Srila Prabhupada speaks, the Super Soul. Yes, okay, we have it here. Happy that I found this. I thought it would have taken longer, but here it is. So this is, what was I even sharing? Okay, so this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 21. Bhidyate hridaya grantish chhedyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evat manishvare. So it is said, okay, thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. But the point is in the purport here. Not the whole purport. Yeah, okay, so in the Bhagavad Gita 10:11, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his pure devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within their heart of a devotee. So the immediate cause to spiritual advancement is the Lord revealing himself more and more within the heart of the devotee. That is the immediate cause. But the Lord will not take such an action unless that particular devotee has surrendered to his devotee. You see? So therefore, because of the personality of Godhead taking charge of illuminating the heart of his devotee, certainly a devotee engaged in his service in transcendental love cannot remain in darkness. He comes to know everything of the absolute and the relative truths. The devotee cannot remain in darkness, and because the devotee is enlightened by the personality of Godhead, his knowledge is certainly perfect. This is not the case for those who speculate on the absolute truth by dint of their own limited power of approach. Perfect knowledge is called parampara, or deductive knowledge, coming down from the authority to the submissive oral receiver, who is bona fide by service and surrender. Right? So this service attitude has to be there. One cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. He reserves the right of not being exposed to such a challenging spirit of an insignificant spark of the whole, a spark subjected to the control of illusory energy. The devotees are submissive, and therefore the transcendental knowledge descends from the personality of Godhead to Brahma, and from Brahma to his sons and disciples in succession. Now, this is it here. This process is helped by the supersoul within such devotees. That is the perfect way of learning transcendental knowledge. You see, so parampara system is there. Guru, disciple, but we should not forget that Kṛṣṇa is also there. Kṛṣṇa is situated in the heart, and he's the one who facilitates this transfers. And when is he going to facilitate? When the Guru is bona fide and when the disciple is bona fide, both by quality and actions. So to learn, you see, the realizations that are going to come in the heart of the speaker depends on the audience. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he spoke of the Atmarama verse, right, he gave so many explanations. I believe it was some 50 plus explanation. So he was speaking those explanations, and then I'm very sorry, I forgot the name. Was it Prakashananda Saraswati or Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? One of these two great scholars. So he said you must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he had explained this verse of the Atmaram in so many different manners. So later on, I believe it was Ramananda Rai. I'm sorry, I keep saying I believe it. You can correct me in the comments if you want. I believe it was Ramananda Rai. He was saying that, could you please repeat all those explanations? And the Lord did so, and plus he added one more explanation, meaning that through the association of Ramananda Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt enlivened to give even more. So how much the speaker is going to be able to get realizations from the Supreme Lord within his heart depends on the audience. So we should not think that I know this devotee, or okay, people offer respect to him, he's senior and all, but I've heard his classes and so on, and I don't think he knows that much, or this is very offensive. And the Lord will certainly not allow us to learn more from that devotee, not at all. So in Vedic culture, there's always a speaker and an audience, not that everybody sits equally and have a conversation. That's not the way Vedic culture works. Even the four Kumaras, who are four brothers, when they discuss a spiritual topic, they will appoint a speaker amongst themselves. So they will see who will be speaking now, and then he will speak, and the three others will listen. So just see, because they are aware that the Lord will be working. When everything is in proper order and it pleases Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa will work. The devotee will feel enlivened within his heart to speak more and more, and will get new realization, and that's Kṛṣṇa who's there. And the audience will feel enlivened also, and that's Kṛṣṇa who's there. See? So yes. So we, a son should render service to their father or a spiritual master in this way, and say, "Yes, sir." That's it. That is obedience. So two words in this verse are very important. One word is pitari, and another word is guruho. The son or disciple should accept the words of his spiritual master and father without hesitation. Whatever the father and the spiritual master order should be taken without argument. Now, of course, this is all in relationship with Kṛṣṇa. If the father says you go on and eat meat, then we should not accept, And if the guru says you give up worshipping Kṛṣṇa, you worship, Durga or whatever, then we should reject also. We are speaking of bona fide father, bona fide spiritual master. There should be no instance in which the disciple or the son says, this is not correct, I cannot carry it out. When he says that, he's fallen. So then we might say, okay, now the objection might be, well, okay, that might be for like very exalted parents, very exalted father, and a pure devotee, like 100% pure devotee, spiritual master, like Srila Prabhupada. But what about temple presidents that are not on the level of Prabhupada, obviously, and that might also have some defects? So that was raised by one devotee. Before the class, I pulled out that conversation because it's a very important one. Let me try. Where did I put that? Yeah, here it is. So this is a conversation that took place in Vrindavan, March 1974, 16th of March. So, okay, so Prabhupada is explaining here. Because unless we are completely purified, Kṛṣṇa does not talk directly. Therefore, you have to understand Kṛṣṇa through the spiritual master. So Rishikesh is saying, so when we are having doubts, the only possible way, no matter what the indications are simply follow your instructions in all circumstances? Yes, right. Prabhupada. Kṛṣṇa wanted instructions of Guru, not directly. Kṛṣṇa, that I was explaining in the morning. Yes, Chaitya Guru. One has to take the order of Kṛṣṇa through the media, via media of spiritual master. Okay, somehow, I think because I put the font bigger, I lost the place. Okay, yeah, that's it here. Okay. 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 Not that I was trying to directly contact Kṛṣṇa. That was not my business. This is required. If anyone wants to contact directly Kṛṣṇa, that is not possible. If there is a devotee who are not yet purified, if the devotee is not yet purified, why is the temple president a representative of you? If we are not at the purified stage, then why is the temple president a representative of yourself? Prabhupada, to carry his order, that is purification. If you create your own atmosphere, then you become impure. You see that? We should try to imbibe those instructions of Prabhupada. To carry his order, that is purification. And who is he speaking about? Prabhupada is speaking about the temple president here. If you create your own atmosphere, then you become impure. If you simply carry out the order of your spiritual master, then you will be benefited. If you do your own business, that is not good. You cannot do anything which is not ordered by your spiritual master. Of course, everyone should have sense. It is not that we are dull, stone, unless it is moved, it cannot. You have got moving power, but the basic issue should be to carry out the orders of his spiritual master. That is your president, otherwise you are not. So Prabhupada is speaking of the president here, and he's speaking that the president is a representative, right? Sometimes we have the experience of someone in authority who is obviously not following instructions. Sometimes we have the experience of someone in authority who is obviously not following instructions. That you have not to judge. That is a great, a strong statement by Prabhupada. You are not to judge. So we might think, well, that devotee is doing something wrong. Maybe he's not following that instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Maybe somehow there's some deviation. Prabhupada says that is not your duty to judge that. So that puts us in our place. And it is just like a child who followed the instructions of the father. He's right, no matter what. Okay? Of course, Prabhupada says there should be some common sense too, but simply to follow, even though the father might be wrong, let's say. If the child still follows that, okay, my father is asking me to do that, I shall do it, then he's right. Father might be wrong, but the child is right. You see, so similarly, these instructions are coming through the parampara system. So it's not that specific devotee is telling me to do something for his sense gratification, that he's saying something that is not in union with Srila Prabhupada. No, it's the same instructions that Prabhupada gives, but according to time and place, it takes the shape of an instruction coming from the devotee. So he's a representative of Prabhupada. By following the instructions of the temple authority, I am following Srila Prabhupada, because this is what Prabhupada wants. Let's continue. That you have not to judge. You are not to judge. You should know that this man is appointed, and he gets here by spiritual process. I must follow. You cannot judge him. You see, this is very important. And he gets here by spiritual process. So to become a temple president is not like a mundane, company that you become, and even in a mundane company, actually, you cannot become like the GM, the general manager of a company, like by chance, right? It's by qualification. So same thing with spiritual life. By advancing and surrendering more and more, Kṛṣṇa is going to be giving us more and more engagements, more and more responsibilities. So if one is raised to the point of being a temple president or a GBC or any positions of authority, that means Kṛṣṇa has rewarded that specific devotee with that post. It's a blessing from the Lord. It's a recognition that now you are, qualified to act like this, right? So we have to see in that angle that Kṛṣṇa has bestowed more mercy upon the devotee than me. That is submissiveness. That is nice. If we can accept that these devotees are more advanced than me, that is very good. Let us continue. Yeah, and he gets here by spiritual process. I must follow. You cannot judge him. Oh, that is not your business, judging. Then we simply wait for further instructions from you and keep no further instructions. So long he is president, you must follow him. If he is wrong, that will be corrected by the spiritual master. Right. You cannot correct him. Otherwise, obedience is the first discipline. If you do not obey the representative authority, then there cannot be any discipline. Then everything will be topsy-turvy. You see? So it's not the duty of a devotee of the congregation or even full-time in the temple to find fault with the authority. Otherwise, obedience is the first discipline. If you do not obey the representative authority, then there cannot be any discipline. So we call ourselves disciples, but a disciple means one who is disciplined, is it not? So Prabhupada wants us to be acting according to our position in the movement. Everybody has to answer to some authority. No one is independent, right? So, you would rather have us follow the temple president? Yes. Then if he is wrong, that cannot. He will come out. So the steps will be taken by the spiritual master. You cannot. Do not try to rectify. Our advancement is the same. Our advancement, yes, is going on. You follow. Evam parampara praptam. Gopi bhartupada kamalayor dasa dasa nudasa. Servant of the servants of the servant of. And then this is our, that's the consideration, advancement, So you see, so Prabhupada is saying that he quotes this verse, Evam parampara pratam. He quotes it in relation to following the temple authority. So the temple authority is also a representative of the parampara, and if we follow him, we are following the parampara system. If there's some little mishap somewhere, that will be rectified by Prabhupada or by higher authority like that. So it's very important that we do not find fault with the temple authority. We should see what they're doing good, how much they're preaching, how much they're doing. They're building temple, trying to make devotee, because the mood of a preacher, a temple authority, he's there and trying to make men. He has to be very tolerant. He has to manage a lot. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders because he's the top man there on the field, trying to push things forward. So he has got this consciousness of now what's the next step? What shall I do now? Someone is surrendering, he's 100% there, willing to help the person, So we should encourage. And if we see some holes in his character or whatever, then we should try to help him, assist him, instead of bringing him down. Oh, you see, he's got a bad side, he's got a bad quality. But what about us? How much more, we have some too. So to think that, oh, this person has got fault, well, does that mean that we are free of fault? That is very, is very boastful, right? Okay. Yeah. So we can go to another verse here. This is from Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 10. Eta vyatyatma jairvir karya hyapachitir gurau shaktya pramatta ingrihyeta sadaram gata matsaraihi. O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limit of envy and who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. So you see, this sort of adoration for the superior is required. And such adoration, such heartfelt respect for superiors cannot be experienced unless one is freed from envy. You see here one who is beyond the limit of envy. Because disobedience to authority is due to envy. That is a fact. Because of an envious temperament, one will not want to obey an authority. And the Lord speaks about that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that, what is that? Due to envy. Right? If one disobeys these teachings, if one due to envy disobeys these teachings, right? What is the exact word that the Lord is saying? Text purport translation. For without envy it becomes free. Yeah. Without envy become free. Yeah. So many places actually he says like that, without envy. Yeah. Okay. So we've got here 331 and 332. Okay, here. See what the Lord is saying here, 331. Ye me matam idam nityam anuttishtanti manava shraddhavanto nanu nasuyanto muchante tepi karmabhi. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow these teachings faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive action. So he's saying without envy, then you can follow the teachings. And again he stresses, Yet vetad abhyasuyanto nanu tishtanti mematam sarvagyana vimudham stan vidhi nashtan achetasah. But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. So those who out of envy disregard these teachings, so to disregard the teachings of a superior is due to envy. And and again here 1871, again the Lord is explaining, Shraddhavan anusuyascha shinuyadapi yonarah sopi mukta shubhal lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So he's speaking about hearing the Bhagavad Gita without envy. So to be non-envious is very important in spiritual life. If we envy an appointed authority, it is some sort of indirect enviness of Kṛṣṇa. And there's no way that we can make progress like that. So we'll soon go to the question section. I just would like to see if it yeah, I think, okay, there's a few quotes that I had in one of my notes. I'll just share the screen here. Temple present authority, yeah, okay. So this is concerning temple authorities. So this is a letter to Los Angeles, January 11, 1968, to Gargamuni. So Prabhupada is saying, Jayananda is a very sincere and intelligent boy, and I think his decision should be accepted as final in the matter. Not only in this case, but in every other complicated case. The elected authorities in the management of the temple should be the final authority in these matters. Otherwise, the society cannot be managed. Our main principle should be to advance the cause of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So you see, again, the elected authorities in the management of the temple should be the final authority in these matters. And he's speaking about like some complicated case and all. So Prabhupada is saying here that we must follow the authority of the temple. What he says is final, and that's it. Letters to Honolulu, from Honolulu, May 15, 1972, to Giriraj. We have got so much to do. We have to deal with so many men with different personalities. So kindly utilize their energies and at the same time keep them satisfied. That is leadership. If one man is appointed as leader, all must follow him and be obedient. Obedience is the first law of discipline. They are pointing out irregularities, but they themselves are not doing their duty. So they're pointing out the irregularities in others. They came to serve, now they don't want to serve, so there's some excuse. Oh, irregularity, let me go away. The workers should not suggest irregularities. So, you see this? Obedience is the first law of discipline. They're pointing out irregularities. Yeah, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. But am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada? Am I pleasing to Prabhupada by simply pointing out the faults in the leader? So I should be trying to assist. If the leader is really at fault somewhere, maybe why should I think, oh, let me help him? Maybe he needs some assistance. Maybe he's got too much service on his shoulders that he cannot handle. How can I alleviate that? How can I, serve him in a way that he's going to be able to do more service nicely? So that should be the mood. So, okay, this is another one. My request to you is that you try to follow the authorities there, the temple president, the GBC, etc. Cooperated nicely with them. Our movement is based on love and trust. So if we do not cooperate, then how is that love and trust? Follow all the rules and regulations very strictly without deviation, chant 16 rounds, attend class and Mangalarti, and then everything will be alright. Yes, so, okay, so that's here. So, this is why we have to be very much humbled enough to work under some authority. And especially when it comes again to our Ritvik system of initiation, we have to choose properly which there's a great distinction between those who have properly submitted to the bona fide authority and those who haven't. We can see, it is not to discriminate without purpose, but in our ISKM, His Grace Srila Gopal Prabhu is a very, very exalted disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He has established a way of preaching and conducting the mission by which everything is always double-checked from Srila Prabhupada's books. Always, always, always. And quoting, So the people, the devotees who are being trained up under his guidance also develop that same mentality of always seeing everything through Shastra. And this is actually developing faith in Shastra. And this is how we progress to the Madhyamadikari platform. Being a Madhyamadikari has faith in the scriptures, whereas a Kanishta Adhikari doesn't. So Srila Gopal Prabhu has introduced this mean by which we can very rapidly advance to the Madhyamana platform if we follow him. So therefore, he is a bona fide Shiksha Guru. He's a bona fide authority, and if we follow his guidance and instructions, surely we will make progress. We should not think that, oh, he's not Prabhupada, he's not, Mahabhagavata, and this is offensive. He's a representative of Prabhupada, and clearly Prabhupada wants us to follow his representatives. So Prabhupada says that we have to be servant of the Acharya even. He did not say direct servant of the Acharya, he said servant of the servant. This is then 10.231 purport. Here. Oops. Bhagavatam 10.231. Prabhupada at the end he says, where is that? Is it okay, that is maybe not here. Let's see. Anyway, this is an important one. One must worship the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees. Then one's endeavor to cross over any science will surely be successful. So live with the devotee. That's very important. We have to live with the devotees. We should not think that I will eternally remain far away from the devotees. We should pray that we can be into their association. Okay, I think we can continue a bit the class with some more fuel, meaning we're going to the comment section now, and let's see if we can continue the discussion from there. So Hare Krishna to all. Hare Krishna Devi Mataji. I'm sorry you joined from the very beginning, so you've seen all the cuts that were occurring, so sorry for the disturbance. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Dimitri Prabhu, thank you for joining. Dipanshu Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Sanjay Prabhu, you do not have to feel Chaitanya Prabhu as we are in his house. He's very kind to house us, and he's feeling bad that there was some issue with the internet, but I think that now the problem's been solved, so no need to feel bad, Prabhu. Thank you very much for hosting us. Hare Krishna, all of you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhamma Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances to your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I don't think lotus feet is proper here. Definitely not worthy of such an homage, but I appreciate your humility. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. I do not know who is logged into ISKM TV. Some Vaishnavas don't differentiate Lord Shiva and Shri Vishnu, but some does. Why this is so? Okay, this is not related to the topic. This is a very lengthy subject matter. So, if anyone knows a class of Tadavit Prabhu who has spoken about that, maybe you can share the link in the description. In the comment section. Hare Krishna Mataji, Shri Vidya Mataji. You have not updated your name here on YouTube. So Hare Krishna Mataji. Vivek Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Lavanya Mataji, Hare Krishna. Very happy to have you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So all of you are here, very happy. Prabhu, my parents are becoming more hard. They forcefully trying me to eat non-vegetable, otherwise they will burn my shastra, snatch my phone, bean bag. I don't test for Hari Nam, what to do. I don't have taste for Hari Nam. Yeah, so to develop taste, to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, first of all, one has to be freed from sins, So if they're forcing you to eat meat, then how are you going to be developing a taste? It's not, it doesn't go hand in hand. But one thing is, they cannot force you to chew and digest the food, right? So, at that point, you're going to have to be strong, Each young man, at one point, if the parents are not in agreement with his way of life, he's got to put his foot down, and he's got to step up. And he has to, challenge. Like, to give you an example, my father, his mother used to beat him, mother, not even the father. Mother used to slap him or hit him. And one point, I think it was like some 16 or 17, when she came, he simply grabbed her hand and he looked at her and he said, "This is the last time you hit me." And then the mother, she just stood there like that, and he released her hand, and that was it. So he stood up, So you have to do something like that to show that I'm just not going to be eating any meat. You have to do it. This is in your camp now. As far as your shastra and all your books, then bring your books to school, or let your books to your friend for some time. And if they're threatening to take away your phone, then alright, take away the phone. You can still chant Hare Krishna without beads too. Or you can leave your beads at school and your books at school, so when you go there, you read Prabhupada books, you chant your rounds and all. And when you go back home, you chant without a bead bag, and that's it. And you pray to Krishna to help you, pray to Krishna. Otherwise, if you're not willing to really try like this, then maybe you're looking for a way out too, Maybe, this is too hard, so I'll just give up. Well, it's a test. Are you really wanting this? Or are you just doing this officially? If you actually want to do that, then just do it. Get some motivation from the devotees, hear properly and pray to the Lord, pray to the devotees to help you out in this. But ultimately, it's going to have to be up to you. So, I don't know how old you are, but you have to stand up to your parents. I'm not eating anything that's not vegetarian. I don't want to be a killer. You speak to them like that, Bring out some fire into you. If you go to them like this, like a little rabbit, then yeah. But if you say, I don't want to eat this meat, I don't want to be a killer, I don't want to be killing cows like you're doing, you might think that it's okay to kill animals, but I don't. I see the wrong in this. What if I take a knife and cut your throat? Would you like this? Then why are we out to do this for animals? So why should I eat meat because you eat meat? I don't want to do that. This is my way of life. I want to live like this. Now you don't want to accept me, what can I say? You don't want to cook for me, then I'll cook myself. What can I do? Then I'll move to school, I'll live in the dorm, and I'll cook for myself. You stand up to them. You pray to Lord Narashimadev to give you the strength to do it, and you do it. Just coming here and writing comments won't solve the issue. You have to do it. Okay. Prabhu, what does humbleness mean in Krishna consciousness? This question was asked to Srila Prabhupada actually. What does it mean to be humble? And in that specific time, Prabhupada said to be humble means to realize that nothing is going to be protecting us except Krishna. That is the meaning of the humility. Don't try to protect yourself by your own means or go to someone else. You go to Krishna. You pray to Krishna that I am fully dependent on the Lord for everything. Everything. I cannot even chew my food without His mercy. I cannot do every single day. So let us try to realize these things. That is humility, to understand our position as as eternally dependent on the Lord. For 4 to 5 months, I'm eating biscuits because in our home everything is non-veg. They are saying they will burn my sastra, phone, beanbag. I have health issue. If they kick out me from home, then what shall I do? But you have a school. Don't you have dormitory at school? I think in India this is very common, right? To have dormitory in school. And if they kick you out of the home, then just go to our temple. We have a big temple in Puducherry. There you'll have the best prasadam ever. You'll have the associations of dozens of devotees. You have service every day, so what's the wrong? And you won't have to go to this nonsense school. Just do it. I used to do it for material things. When I was 14, I was missing practically 50% of my classes. I would just go out with my friends. I didn't like going to school. So I was doing it for something nonsense as what I used to do. So if I had to do it again, but for Krishna, then definitely I'll do it even easier. I was not going to school. Now if you're scared your father is going to beat you or something, then you just go, you leave. You'll be happy with the devotees anyway. If you go to our temple in Puducherry, Prahlad Prabhu is going to take care of you. You should contact him actually. You're in India, you should go to him. He's our man there. So you contact Prahlad Prabhu and you ask him, what can you do? And if your parents are kicking you out, or your father somehow or other he crosses the line, then good, Krishna's arrangement. Then you have more impetus to just leave this because parents are supposed to be bringing you to Kṛṣṇa, not away from Kṛṣṇa. So if you got so much difficulty with them, then pray to the Lord that He makes arrangement for you. But ultimately, it's up to you. Are you convinced? Because you're having doubts that you are sort of seeking the motivation somewhere. But someone who's got no doubts, he will know what to do. You've been eating some cookies for so many months, that's unhealthy. It's not good for you. You must be having a lot of health issues because of this. So why not rectify the situation? How long are you going to be waiting? Janavajan. Forgetting Kṛṣṇa, you're helping remember Kṛṣṇa. Thank you for your service, inspiring, enlightening. Your preaching is working, is all one may have. From Canada with love. So Hare Krishna, we're simply trying to present the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. So if you feel any enlivening, then we're very happy of that, but it's simply because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Prabhu, sometime we read in Shastra that devotees can do this, or he will get this result, etc., etc. Does that mean only pure devotee or normal Kanishthadikari? Devotee can do this, can do what? What is... or he will get this result, etc. I'm not understanding exactly. Anyway, should we consider ourselves more advanced than a Kanishthadikari? We should always think that we are neophytes, right? And the regulations are very clear. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, chant 16 rounds, right? Make your life Krishna conscious, wake up in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, do Mangalarti. So there's no need to be trying to understand something else there. Everything is straightforward. Bimal Devidasi, Hare Krishna Mataji, with humble obeisances, Avalosishya Prabhupada. Prabhu, when I see pictures of pure devotees or in video, it seems like they are very serious. Same time, they are in ecstasy, so humble, smiling, friendly. So how to make our lives like this? Well, Prabhu, before we start to think of developing the mood of a pure devotee and so on, we have to go to ABC, You cannot expect to write Shakespeare without knowing ABC. So first of all, don't think about all of that. You go step by step. The step now is that you should stop eating meat. I think you're eating only cookies, as you're saying. But you have to fix this issue of having family members that don't want you to be becoming Krishna conscious. We've got devotees who've left their parents, We've got like many recently, Rishikesh Prabhu and Shyam Govinda Prabhu. They just left their studies, They joined the temple full time and that's it. They did it. So it's not impossible, it's doable. But you have to be motivated. You have to pray to the Lord for protection. We have to seek guidance from devotees. You have to be convinced that you want this. For example, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was Line Guru, but when he used to live in the outside village chanting 192 rounds daily for 11 years, he was in ecstasy like madman. It changes our mind. Yeah, well, the answer is in the question, right? Chant 122 rounds, 192, then you'll feel the same thing. But how to get to this standard, There's some steps, preliminary steps. We don't need to speak about such elevated symptoms yet. It will all come naturally. Okay. Dimitri Prabhu, one of the arguments of such separatists is that I'm not against physical guidance, but it must be a pure devotee, which is only Srila Prabhupada. Why should I take an authority of someone who isn't pure? Yeah, but the qualification is there because the person who isn't 100% pure will be following purely the instructions. So what is that, I only want Prabhupada, I want nobody else? Where is in Prabhupada books is he saying that? You should only associate with Uttamadikari. No, Prabhupada says yes, Kanishthadikari, we should avoid their association because they're not fixed up and all. But a Madhyamadikari is very, we have, it's very precious. Right? Where does it say? Here. We have this. So Prabhupada is saying, what is it? I think it's 1672. Is it? 3 classes. Just give me. So this man that you're saying is giving the argument that only Prabhupada, right? Okay. Then if you actually have faith in Prabhupada, you're saying only Prabhupada, then you should follow Prabhupada instructions, right? Yeah, I was right. So that's 1672. Madhya. So here it is. Okay, so how to remove this comment? Okay. Here, Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that any Vaishnava who is constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord should be considered to have attained the second platform of Vaishnavism. Such a devotee is superior to a neophyte Vaishnava who has just learned to chant the holy name of the Lord. A neophyte devotee simply tries to chant the holy name, whereas the advanced devotee is accustomed to chanting and takes pleasure in it. Such an advanced devotee is called Madhyama Bhagavata. So the Madhyama Dikari takes pleasure in chanting and he's accustomed to it. There's no difficulty for him to chant. There's not that it's a struggle every day. Which indicates that he has attained the intermediate stage between the neophyte and the perfect devotee. Generally, a devotee in the intermediate stage becomes a preacher. A neophyte devotee or an ordinary person should worship the Madhyama Bhagavata, who is a via medium. There you have it. So Srila Prabhupada says that a neophyte should worship the Madhyama Dikari. Now, of course, it's not that we should artificially use prayers meant for the Uttama Dikari to the Madhyama Dikari, right? Just like in ISKCON, they're using all these prayers, Om Vishnupad, Paramhamsa, Parivekachacharya, Shtotara Shishimad, such and such. Not like that. That becomes an insult. But Prabhupada clearly says you should take guidance from a Madhyama Dikari. Now if that person who says that, no, I'm a Madhyama Dikari. Yeah, okay, well, good for you then. Anyway, such people, they have so many... Prabhupada says you have to live in the association of devotees. There's just no way around that. There's just no way around this. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Sastrahaya. Lobhamaya Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhihaya. The whole, if we think we're above consulting anyone, then what is our position? Where is it? Association of pure devotees is, you cannot relish even Krishna Katha alone, really truly. Of course, reading Prabhupada books is nice on our own, but in the association of devotees is very different. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Oh, but here it says pure devotee, Prabhu. You see, pure devotee only, association of pure devotee, not Madhyama Dikari, pure devotee. No, Madhyama Dikari is also a pure devotee, because he's above karma and jnana. And this is described here. Pure devotee does not simply mean who is completely freed. Of course, the Uttama Dikari, he is the actual real pure devotee, but here is said, this is from Harinam Chintamani, Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti, Maitri Archarana, Balishete Kripara, Dveshi Upakshana, Karilena Madhyama Bhakta, Shuddha Bhakta. See that? Madhyama Bhakta, Shuddha Bhakta. What does Shuddha mean? Pure. One who has love for Krishna, who makes friend with the devotees, who shows mercy to the neophytes and ignorant people, and who avoids the envious, is a Madhyama Bhakta and is considered a pure devotee, a Shuddha Bhakta. He is qualified to chant the holy name of Krishna. So he is also a pure devotee. He's not a perfected pure devotee, but as far as what he does, he is pure. So that is that. Prabhupada also spoke of that. Here, except for the Madhyamadikari and Uttamadikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living entity, a living being. So Kanishta Adhikari cannot see properly, and that's why this man is saying like that. I don't want Prabhupada, only except Prabhupada, I don't want anybody else. Because he's not actually capable of seeing the spiritual position, because he's himself a neophyte. But he said, Madhyamadikari can see, so why wouldn't you want the association of such a devotee, right? And plus, such devotees, they also can act as guru. Shiksha Guru especially. Diksha Guru actually is really reserved to the pure devotee, Uttamadikari. But a bona fide Shiksha Guru, Madhyamadikari, definitely. What is that? In class, let me see. What do you call that? Okay. Recognize hearing a pure devotees by action, acharya, senses, morning prayer, second class, pure devotee. Second, maybe. There's a place where Prabhupada speaks, about how not fully liberated devotee can also act as acharya. That is important, because it's not that only Prabhupada, of course Prabhupada, he's our life and soul, he's the center, he's the person who's holding everything, but Prabhupada is telling us that we have to associate with his devotees. Where is it that I saw that? Sorry, I'm looking in my note. I don't know if you're looking. Oh, you're not seeing the screen. Okay, somehow I'm not able to find it now. I don't like when that happens. Two kinds of Shiksha Guru. Okay, here. Maybe not that. Okay, anyway. I'm losing a bit of time here, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find this now. Acharya. Anyway, so one who strictly follows also the Mahajana, right? One who follows the authority, he's also good. So he should not be rejected. But he should act as a via medium between the neophyte and Prabhupada. That was clear, right? Madhyamadikari should be worshipped. Okay. Prabhu, how remember any hard shloka to quote anywhere, even if we don't have the ability to memorize as much as possible? That will come. That will come with time. The more we listen to classes and all, the more we hear the shlokas. You should hear from those who know a lot of shlokas, like Taboos Prabhu, His Grace, Srila Gopal Prabhu. The more you hear their classes, the more it will come. What if some temple president deviates a lot, but he uses that instruction not to judge, as a plea to continue his Raskandam? Should we still be submissive to him? So, yes, of course, this question is the proper question to ask. So obviously, now, if his instructions are going against Srila Prabhupada, then how is that? How is he bona fide, right? But if he's in line, that's why we have to study Srila Prabhupada's books also, right? Not, Prabhupada said, not that we have to be a dumb stone not moving. No, we have got our independence, that we can see what's going on, but here, Prabhupada speaks of that, right? Yeah, here. Okay, I'm sharing the screen. To answer your last point, one who teaches can be treated as spiritual master. It is not that after we became initiated, we become perfect. No, it requires teachings. So if we take instruction from them, all senior godbrothers may be treated as guru. There is no harm. Actually, you have only one spiritual master who initiates you, just as you have only one father. But every Vaiṣṇava should be treated as Prabhu, master, higher than me. And in this sense, if I learn from him, he may be regarded as guru. It is not that I disobey my real spiritual master and call someone else a spiritual master. That is wrong. It is only that I can call spiritual master someone who is teaching me purely what my initiating spiritual master has taught. You get the sense. So it's not that someone he's completely deviating and we should still continue. No. There's so many instructions like that, right? Bharata, the brother of Lord Ramachandra, he went away. He rejected his mother to surrender to Bharata. Bali Maharaj, he rejected his spiritual master. Prahlad Maharaj, he rejected his father. The Yagya Patni, right? The Yagic Brahmana's wives, they rejected their husband to go to Kṛṣṇa. So why is Kṛṣṇa putting all these examples in the Shastra? So that we can understand that it's okay to reject any of these personalities if it is to go to Kṛṣṇa. So if a temple authority is really deviating, and then we see that clearly, he doesn't want to be rectified and all, then okay. But if we think that, let's say, he's not coming from Mangalarti sometimes or things like that, these are not like causes of absolute deviation, there might be a reason for these things to occur, right? I'm asking because many ISKCON gurus use Bhagavad Gita 9:30 to justify their fall down, so they may use that arguments about a temple president also. Yeah. Well, this is very, to use this quotation, right, ep.2 Sudurachara, that, he's still considered saintly. That is for those who are sincere and who have a temporary fall down. And that's actually for a neophyte devotee. That doesn't apply to a guru at all. This verse is not for a guru, it's for a neophyte devotee. Neophyte devotee might fall down, but if he's sincere, we should not criticize him like that. And it's something temporary, not that, I've been committing sins for the past 30 years, but you should still see me saintly. That's completely bogus. That's wicked mentality. How to make sastric notes like you, Prabhu, to present actual shloka at the right time? Well, start taking notes. This is how I started. I started taking notes with Evernote in 2015. So every time I read a little bit, I find something interesting, I place it in one of the notes, and it builds up. So you start. You can install Evernote on your phone, and whenever you read, you can add something to Evernote like that. Slowly it will grow, and it's you who's placing the notes everywhere, so you'll start to remember where they are and so on. But that's for dull-headed people like me, A sharp person, they can remember. They don't need to take notes so much like that. They will remember exactly where to quote from, like Taboos Prabhu and Sundagopa Prabhu, they don't have such notes. Hare Krishna, Derek Prabhu. Very happy to have you here. Saikarti Prabhu. Prabhu, is it true that the GBC temple president during Prabhupada times fell from Madhyam status, or they were Kanishta Adhikari? You can still fall down from Madhyam Adhikari platform, even though Prabhupada states in 9.3 purport that even a second-class devotee cannot fall down. If he offends a devotee, he will fall down. If he doesn't offend a devotee, he won't. But offense to a devotee is very, very grave. Now, were they Madhyam Adhikari? I don't think so. Madhyam Adhikari is actually a very advanced platform. It's not something cheap. So even though someone might be preaching and so on, it's not necessarily that he's a Madhyam Adhikari yet. He might be a very fired up Kanishta. and willing to push the movement and all. That's nice, but as we see, Madhyamadikari, he develops a taste for chanting the holy name. That's quite advanced, actually. I'm so happy to see you giving class again all the way to Prabhupada. I'm very happy to give classes again. I hope this internet connection problem will be fixed for the next one. Prabhu, how view the Shiksha Guru with the same reverence and respect as Diksha Guru? How to be very humble in spiritual life? Okay, so as we saw, the respect is not exactly the same, but as a representative of the Diksha Guru, he has to be given respect. And humility, well, without serving a devotee, how are we going to know what humility is? We need to serve the devotee, right? Without serving a devotee, what is the meaning of saying humility? We have to learn, we have to ask, how can I serve you, what can I do? And to understand that we're not independent. I really like how Sunagopa Prabhu, Tabe Prabhu, you Prabhu, Prahlad Prabhu quote from Sastra about every topic. That's how our Sastra want in Guru Srila Prabhupada. No one is doing this. Yes, that's why Sunagopa Prabhu has got such a great contribution to the Vaiṣṇava world, because he has brought that. It did not exist before him. The format of showing from Prabhupada books always like this, where who is doing this? If His Grace Sunagopa Prabhu was an a guru in ISKCON, he would be the most popular, hands down, because no one gives class like him. Yes, exactly. Prahlad Maharaj wants association of pure devotee, but we're not. Yeah, that's all right. They literally force me to chew, Prabhu. They will stand until I eat. Well, you fight. Without bead, it's hard for me. Without beads, I think you mean, yeah. So you might be quite young at the moment, but as I say, you pray to Narasimhadev to give you some strength and intelligence on how to do. Prabhuji, what are some tips to increase our bhakti and devotion? Hear from the devotees, follow devotees' advice. Senior devotees will guide you as to what to do. Anukriti Munda. So I believe you're Mataji, right? Anukriti. You can be added to our Mataji's group, and all the links to these classes and all will be shared there. And also you can get some association. So I'm putting my number now. I'm posting this comment. This is my WhatsApp number. You can add me, and I will forward you to one Mataji who will be adding you to that Mataji's group. I'm from West Bengal, India. School is an unsafe place. I can't hide Sastra. I have no mom, no dad. My mama. I have no mom, no dad. My mama. You live alone with your grandmother, is it? You don't have parents? I think you should contact His Grace Prahlad Prabhu. You're in India, you should speak with him, I think you're in our group, right? ISKM Vaiṣṇava Sangha. So please contact Prahlad Prabhu and ask him to help you, to guide you in this matter. How to send donation to you? So thank you for asking. We have got different means. So there's PayPal, and there's also a monthly Patreon donation. So this is the Patreon. So this works on a monthly basis. So it will automatically deduct the donation amount that you choose. Otherwise, if you're looking for a one-time donation, we have PayPal. So this is PayPal here. Thank you very much. How to grow love for Kṛṣṇa? Yeah, so we get love for Kṛṣṇa by pleasing the pure devotee. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. Yasya prasadat nagati kitopi. So you must follow the instructions of the pure devotee. The pure devotee now for our age is Srila Prabhupada. And he's saying chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles. So as you do these things, as you read his books more and more, you will slowly develop your love for Kṛṣṇa. So how to do bhakti in non-devotee surroundings, no kirtan, no devotee association, what to do? Yes, very hard, and therefore we should not wish to remain in this situation all of our life. We should pray to the Lord to force us to surrender, help us to surrender. But meanwhile, this is the best option. We've got some devotees that are alone in some country and they are surviving with this online association. Somehow or other they can continue. So you can start doing like this, more online association, more communication with devotees, send messages, reveal your mind, attend these live lectures, attend the live reading sessions, chanting sessions, like that. And you'll feel at least a little boost that will help you out. But that should be seen as a temporary mean to the end, not the end itself. That should not continue like that for years and years. You should wish to surrender, to go physically with the devotees. Some ISKCON devotees started doing classes with the screen like Srila Prabhupada, but they aren't not even close to him when it comes to quoting, not at all. Yeah, they'll never be, I think. They'll never be. Prabhu, in my hostel corridor there's a picture of Jesus Christ, so sometimes I pray to him to help me since Christ is pure devotee. Is this okay to do, or is this deviation? No, it's not a deviation. It's okay. He's a pure devotee, you can ask for his blessings. But everything is included when we pray to Srila Prabhupada, I mean, we should not think that Prabhupada is lacking in some way. But there's no problem in praying to Lord Jesus Christ. He's a pure devotee. So, but disciple means he prays to his guru first, right? And the guru is a representative of all other acharyas. But it's okay. No harm. Okay, so I think we'll be stopping here. So I hope that we've somehow touched some aspects. Somehow or other, I wished I had gotten into more about temple life, temple management and how to follow authorities there. But I think those quotes from Srila Prabhupada are pretty clear. We should try to support as best we can the temple authority in our local temple and not find fault in him or her. Or maybe not. I mean, I say her because in China it's the Banga Mataji is the woman leading. Yeah, in some cases, So, yes, that's it. And let us try to be humble. Let us try to not find fault and go away. That's the business of inferior men, Srila Prabhupada says, simply finding fault and go away. So, very sorry for the interruptions. We'll try to fix this for the next session. And thank you very much for coming. I can see that the attendance has gone down a lot since compared to previous sessions that we used to give. I think it's the time difference, Starting at 3:30 for India is pretty early. Even now it's 8 p.m. in Singapore, which means 5:30 in India. So that used to be the time that we used to start actually classes before. So that's a better time to get more devotees to join. But never mind. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And I appreciate that all of you have been listening to the whole class, the whole session. So thank you so much. And please excuse me if I've committed any offense, knowingly or unknowingly, to any of you. My only wish is to try to become a genuine servant of the devotees. And I know that I'm far from that yet, and I'm committing a lot of offenses, and I'm doing these classes for my purification. And also that we can discuss all together, with your questions and all. I also get realizations. It's good for me. And if I was not doing any service, what would I be doing anyway? So thank you for helping me advance spiritually also. So with this, I'd like to end. So vanchakalpatarubhischa kripasindubhyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Anantakoti Vaiṣṇava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Thank you.